Hello and welcome back to some more F1 2020 and part 6 of my team career mode with Jordan GP Mercedes. In today's episode we have the Spanish Grand Prix. Thank you for all of the support on the series so far, I really do appreciate it. If we could keep hitting that 50 likes sort of threshold, that it's just insane the amount of support that you guys are giving. And for anyone that wants to give extra support, I am in the middle of a two-phase project to increase the quality of the channel, namely getting a new PC so that I'm able to record 4K footage. So if you want to see 4K F1 gameplay, then there are 3 links down below in the description where you can help with that via donations and Patreons and whatever. Nothing goes behind a paywall, and my YouTube income is going in there as well to hopefully make it a 50-50 split and get the PC a little bit quicker. So just to let you know about that. But today the first thing we're going to be doing is improving our facilities. So we've got 2.7 million in the bank. I think where we need to focus now is probably the chassis. We really do need to improve the chassis, and I think improving the build time is probably the thing we want to do the most, so we can improve that quicker. If we have a little look at the R&D, you can see the chassis area we're really struggling in. Aerodynamically we are as well, but we're currently working on that, and I think that's going reasonably well. Powertrain, of course, we're going to be one of the better ones because we started with a much better powertrain than anywhere else. So I think focusing on this chassis area, we can improve the energy store cells. I don't know exactly what that'll do. As the previous ones, put a smaller and lighter. So we're going to have a lighter car if we get that one. With this one, the energy store cells are lower, which reduces or lowers the overall centre of mass. But I think we go for this one. I think we want to be a little bit lighter, so that's the next upgrade that we're going to go and look at the amount of performance that's going to give us. So hopefully we can head towards Alfa Romeo and do well there. But last time out, if you didn't see the last episode, by the way, please go back and watch it. It was a really amazing episode, and thank you for the support on it. I know a lot of you guys really enjoyed it. We're now 13th in the driver's standards, 8th in the constructors, which is excellent. A couple of people have been asking about the open podium pass. At the time of recording, I can't get into that. They did switch it off. I think there was some sort of issue with it. I'm not sure when that's going to get fixed, but at the time of recording it hasn't yet been fixed. But anyway, we've got the Spanish Grand Prix coming up, so let's see how we got on in qualifying. Here we are on our first flying lap as we come through the tight and twisty section. Our pace hasn't been too bad this weekend, so let's come up to the line and see exactly where we are as we set a 1 minute 18.8, which puts us ahead of Latifi but 1.4 seconds behind Valtteri Bottas. So that's not too bad a start. I do suspect that we will have to come back out and improve on that, but
the tank is empty.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend so far. Had really strong pace in practice and managed to get all of the practice programs done. So plenty of resource points in the bank, and I've got an aero upgrade coming hopefully by the end of this month. But P8 at the moment, obviously that's going to change as the times come in. Okay guys, here we are on our second run. You can see both of us are through to Q2 as it stands, with a couple of minutes to go in the session. We're slightly up on our previous time, 0.3 of a second in fact, and we come through and we go 10th, so that looks very safe to get through to Q2. which is exactly what we wanted. So an excellent display from us here, and if Mick Schumacher can get through as well, that's going to be absolutely perfect and show the progress that we've made over the last couple of Grand Prix. So there you go then, we get through in 11th place. Sergio Perez slightly displaces us, and unfortunately Mick Schumacher drops out just in 17th. That is such a shame for him. Only 3/10 behind us, but it's so close in the midfield. Anywhere down from Magnussen in the Haas. I mean, both Haas cars getting through to Q2. That is impressive. Both Alfa Romeos are gone. The Williams of Latifi and Russell, and also Gasly in the Alfa Tauri gone. But Mick Schumacher very unlucky not to get through. Kvyat very lucky to get through. But yeah, very, very interesting. I don't think we'll have the pace to get through to Q3, but we shall see. Well, here we come then, round in Q2. Of course, only one run because we used 2 sets of soft tyres in Q1. But here we come, we go a little bit wide. That could cost us as we come onto the pit straight. What's it going to be? It's a 1:17.9, which is enough for 8th, and once again into Q3. I said we had the performance round here. I certainly didn't expect that to be a Q3 potential in dry running, but we certainly seem to be getting to grips with this car, starting to unlock its potential a little bit, and well, maybe some of those power unit upgrades that have dripped down from Mercedes are certainly helping out here. That's exactly why I went for them, but checkered flag is drawn. And, well, 9th now, so somebody else has gone above us. Hamilton currently in 7th. I don't know if we are going to drop out here. We might as well stay with the action and just keep an eye on those times as they go through. We have brought out a yellow flag, so I feel like we should be sportsmanlike and just return to the garage. Oh, and we could just get nudged out in the end. That's such a shame. Wow, Carlos Sainz getting through, Ricciardo through as well, Hamilton down to 8th. But look at Perez up in 5th place. Valtteri Bottas looking very, very strong. But 5 runners going through on the medium tyre. That is very, very bold, and maybe tells us we should be starting on the mediums as the first person that gets free choice of tyres in the race, because you could go medium hard here. It is pretty bad on tyre wear, but going out in Q2 then is ourselves in 11th place, but really happy with that performance. Stroll in 12th, Kvyat in the Alpha Tauri. Ocon, disappointing season so far for him. He's only down in 14th. And then obviously the Haas cars of Magnussen and Grosjean. So leaving it there, we'll hand over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson for this 2020 Spanish Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to what promises to be another fascinating Spanish Grand Prix. A race which saw Max Verstappen win on his first ever appearance with the Red Bull team in 2016. This after the dramatic coming together of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg on the first lap. Will we see more moments for the scrapbook here today? It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we start by talking about Carlos Sainz? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, We have Leclerc, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel and Albon, Perez, Norris, the captain, and Lance Stroll, Kvyat, Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, and Grosjean, Schumacher, Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. George Russell and Carlos Sainz, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Gasly, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So there we go then. We're starting in 9th, so 2 grid penalties, 1 for Sainz and 1 for Daniel Ricciardo. So starting in 9th today, which will be interesting.
We've got some points on the board. Let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
So I think again, you want to be putting a bit more fuel in the car. We are going to actually start on the medium tyres because we know a lot of the front runners are as well. So yeah, I think start on the medium tyres and maybe switch to softs halfway through. Maybe even switch to hards. Who knows? I'm not entirely sure which method is going to be the best, but we will try our absolute best to try and get to lap 11. But if we can't quite make it that far, then of course we will switch to the hard tyres. So without further ado, oh, hang on. Yes, we need to use that strategy. There we go. So let's get into the race.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
Warm these tyres up, get them nice and toasty for the moment that the lights go out and we get away. Obviously on the medium tyres we're going to probably be a little bit slow off the line, but you know, we're running the same strategy as the ultimate front runners, which means that we'll be going longer into the race and can hopefully follow them through a little bit. I'm hoping to jump Norris into the first corner. I think that is going to be achievable. Perez is maybe going to be a little bit trickier. Obviously Schumacher starting up in 15th today, so hopefully he can get a good start as well. I'd love to see him fighting for points. That would be fantastic if we could pull that off. So yeah, but 9th position, you know, it's all going to be good. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it is going to be a real war of attrition, this Grand Prix. 17 laps. It is a tough race, the Spanish Grand Prix. Tough to overtake, but obviously you've got that very long straight where you can get a huge advantage if you can get in the slipstream. So that's what we'll be looking to do today. I think we've warmed the tyres up nicely, right in the middle of the pack. So you know, I think this is the best place we could be, really. Obviously 11th is a strong place to start, but those 2 grid penalties bringing us up to 9th position and getting ready for the lights.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
So I'm waiting for Latifi to line up, but here we go. Lights out, away we go here in Spain. It's another good start for us off the line. You can see where we're going to get past Perez off the start, which is absolutely fantastic. Just got to be careful going into turn 1. And we've had an incident. It was Perez that started it. Let's have a little look on the replay. You can see the initial start. We're sort of boxed in by Norris and Perez. Perez just broke later than us and sort of shoved us into the back of Vettel and Norris. So unfortunately for us, we've got wing damage, and look at this, we're dropping down the order. There's Schumacher. We'll try and provide as a bit of a rear gunner for him. But hang on, that's not what we want. That's not the strategy we want. Right. I think we need to come in and get this changed. I mean, we're not dropping too far off the pack here, so we shouldn't lose too much out of this. We're going to have clean air, hard tyres. Hopefully that will last till the end of the Grand Prix. Just hoping for a safety car at some point to help us catch back up, but what a disappointment that was. An incident at turn 1 after such a good initial getaway. But you can see there Perez is in as well, so he didn't get away free, which I suppose is a bit of justice, but there he goes. We hold him up as well for good measure. Now then, hopefully it won't take too long to change this front wing. Got the hard tyres on.
Go, go, go.
And we're away. 9.6 seconds. That's not too bad.
We want to finish the race on this compound.
So we're away, and it's now time to just get our head down, put in some clean, quick laps, and wait for the pit stops, I suppose.
The gap to the car ahead is 21.6 seconds.
Well, you can see some guys have just come out of the pit lane, the likes of Raikkonen and Gasly, who started on the back row, of course, or very near the back row at least. You know, and they're just in front of us, so we've just about caught up to the back of the field, as it were, but because we're not a front-running team, I don't see it really improving unless there's a safety car. Then yeah, I think this is going to be a long day at the back and a very short race time. Well, there's Latifi leaving the pit lane, and we've just passed him on the outside, so we're at least ahead of Nicholas Latifi. I don't think we will be for long. He's on fresh mediums, and we're on wearing hard tyres, so we'll see. I mean, we've broke the 1 second window at least, and we do have a faster car than the Williams, so you'd hope we might be able to hold this position, but small wins. Well, Valtteri Bottas is out of the session, so that's at least one place that we're going to make up. We have been consistently closing in on Raikkonen and Gasly up ahead, so I'm hoping that we can maybe catch them in the next couple of laps. But now up to 21st position, or sorry, P20 once.
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Well, there's Bottas right there. So we're up to P20 now, but yeah, we're never really going to have recovered from that opening lap incident without a safety car, and it's a shame, really.
This is your final lap of the race.
Well, final lap then. We'll see how much we can catch up to Raikkonen. Well, we're definitely not going to catch him and pass him, but we can at least try and close the gap a little bit, maybe get it under 2 seconds. That'll be
gap to the
pretty
car in
cool.
front is 2.4 seconds.
And if we could put our quickest lap of the race in as well, that would be amazing. But Lewis Hamilton comes round and wins the Spanish Grand Prix. What a performance from him, with the fastest lap as well. Absolutely amazing stuff from him. And he's well on his way to the 7th world title. And you can clearly see we are catching Raikkonen on these really old tyres that have been going since lap 2. But we're not going to quite make it, unfortunately. Little lock up there. Just pushing too hard here in the end. But here we come round the final corner. It's a disappointing day today, but hey ho.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Daniel Ricciardo certainly impressed me today, an incredible performance.
Let's move on to the constructors. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we have it then. We finish down in 20th position in the end. Good for Mick Schumacher, though. He finishes in 12th, only a few seconds behind a points-paying position, sandwiched by the Haas cars, who seem to have had a real upturn in form this weekend. Sainz in 14th in the McLaren. You can see Perez eventually finished 15th. We finished 20th in the end. And actually only 15 seconds off Daniel Ricciardo in 10th place. So I think we genuinely would have had points today had we have not had that incident at turn 1. But these things happen. That is Formula 1, and that is where we're going to leave it for today. If you have enjoyed that, then make sure you hit that like button down below. I know it's not the most exciting episode today, but next time we've got Monaco, which could go one of two ways. It could be as boring as this, or it could be action-packed and dramatic. So make sure you just click that subscribe button for daily F1 2020 content. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.